Hello fans, welcome to my YouTube channel, King Kelechiku Kenzo. Today we shall be discussing on small and the large intestine. Now, oftentimes, so many people have been confused between the small and the large intestine. Which one is more longer? Now, small intestine is more longer than the large intestine. But why is it called small intestine if it is more longer than the large intestine? In this video, we are going to explain it. I'm going to explain it, the reason why it's more longer than the large intestine. Now, the length of your GIT is the what? Gastrointestinal tract, GIT. The length of the GIT is about 25 feet. 25 feet. So start from your mouth to your anus. The length is 25 feet. But if it is cadaver or dead person, it is 35 feet. 25 feet in a living human being, 35 feet for a dead person. Then why is the number varies? Now, if somebody, a dead person, the length of the GIT, the elasticity of the muscle will lose its elasticity. Now, if the muscle loses its elasticity to move from 35 feet to 25 feet, from 25 feet to 35 feet, that is one of the reasons. Now, if you want to remember it quick as a student, you know the goalpost is 25 feet. We normally use the length of the goalpost to remember that the length of our GIT is 25 feet. That is number one. Now, out of this 25 feet, 3.05 meter is the length of the small intestine. That is to say that 3.05 or 10 feet is for small intestine. So the length of the small intestine is 3.05 meter. Sorry, put M here, meter, or 10 feet. Out of 25 feet, 10 feet has gone. That means the remaining 5 feet belong to other parts of the GIT. I'm going to be discussing it one after the other. Now, if 10 feet is for small intestine, then why is it that the large intestine is what the name large intestine is being given to instead of small intestine? Now, the reason why it is called large intestine is because of its diameter. Now, the diameter of the small intestine is 22.54 centimeter. Now, if you carry your ruler, you will see that from here to here is 2.54 centimeter. So that is to say that when you draw a circle like this, look at what they call diameter. A diameter is a straight line that touches the circumference of a circle at both sides. That means from here to here, from here to here. So this line is called the diameter. That is to say that the whole of the small intestine is 2.54 centimeter. While that of the large intestine is 7.62 centimeter. So the large intestine now is 7.62 centimeter. That is from here to here is the wideness of the large intestine. Now, because of that, they did not consider the length of both intestines, but they consider the wideness of both intestines. So it is the wideness of both intestines or the diameter of both intestines that make those. So it is the diameter of both intestines that they consider to say that because the diameter of the other part of intestine is more larger than this one. So because of that, they say let us name this one to become the large intestine. Now they say this one, since it has a small diameter of 2.5 centimeter, let us call it small intestine. But in all, the length of this one is more than the length of this one. So this is one of the reasons why it is called small intestine and the large intestine. Now the small intestine is also divided into three regions. The first region is the duodenum. The second one is the jejunum. The third one is the ileum. Now, each of these regions of the small intestine have different function they play. No, they have similar function they play, and each of them have different function they play. Okay, let's pick the duodenum first. Now, the duodenum is the first part of the small intestine, and it is the shortest region of the small intestine. Remember that the small intestine is about 3.05 meter. Now, the duodenum is the shortest part of the small intestine. Its length is 25.4 centimeter. So the length of the duodenum is 25.4 centimeter. Now the duodenum has functions they play. Okay, the number one function they play is one, it is attached to what they call now the hepatopancreatic ampulla. Now this is a junction where the bile or a substances from the liver and a substances from the pancreas join together to empty themselves into the duodenum. Now the pancreatic papilla. Now this one become the small cavity or hole that those things come together. This is substances. This one is substances. Now they now come like this, and let's say this is the duodenum. Now this one is coming from the liver. This one is coming from the pancreas. Now this junction is called the hepatopancreatic ampulla. Now this bile is coming from here, pancreatic juice is coming from here. Now they will join to this point, or they will meet at this point. Now this point is called the hepatopancreatic ampulla. Now from here to here is called the pancreatic papilla. Now there is what they call pancreatic valve or pancreatic. Now this valve permit the opening of substances from here to enter into the duodenum. This is the duodenum wall. Now this valve is called the hepatopancreatic sphincter. Remember this one, you can call it so like I said, this is hepatopancreatic ampulla. At times they will call it ampulla of Vater. Ampulla of Vater. This one can be also called ampulla of Vater. It is also called ampulla of Vater. which is this junction that substances empty themselves from bile, from the liver, from the what? Pancreas. They will join here and mix themselves before they will follow this channel. So this junction is the ampulla of Vater or hepatopancreatic ampulla. Now here, this whole around here is the pancreatic papilla. Why this is called hepatopancreatic sphincter. Now it is this hepatopancreatic sphincter will determine the movement of substances from this place to enter into the duodenum. Now what normally happens is that once a child, when food leave or bolus leave the stomach, it is no longer called bolus, it is called, let's say this is the stomach. Now here is the duodenum, first part of the duodenum. Now when there is a valve here, they call this valve here pyloric sphincter. Pyloric sphincter. Now this pyloric sphincter will open up and allow bolus to enter into the duodenum. Immediately the bolus enter into the duodenum, it is changed to become chyme. It's no longer called bolus. Now this thing that enter into the duodenum is very, very acidic in nature. It is very acidic. Why? Because the acidity of the stomach is much. Now once this thing enter here, if this hepatopancreatic sphincter did not release or open up to allow substances, bile and other bicarbonate substances to enter into the duodenum, now the acidity of that time will begin to eat the wall of duodenum and they will cause what they call duodenum ulcer. Duodenal ulcer. Now this is the reason why we do have duodenal ulcer. But if this sphincter open up and allow those pancreatic fluid to enter into the duodenum, they will begin to neutralize the acidity of the chyme. They will begin to neutralize the acidity of the chyme. So this is the difference between the small intestine and the large intestine. I will be explaining more of this